Thank you very much. 40 years ago, an idea was conceived of setting up a commercial bank, a bank that would be out there providing, financial services, especially microfinance, to all Ugandans, and especially those in the rural areas. And around 1982, 83, there were some lay apostolate members of the society who were also supported by their various dioceses of the Catholic Church in Uganda. And that's how the bank was founded, by the Catholic Church in Uganda. And of course, if you remember, if you can imagine the beginnings, very humble, along Nkrumah Road, that street, a small office. One of the members offered one of his offices to begin, these banking services. And from then on, bit by bit, quite a lot has been put in place. Getting a license from the Bank of Uganda in 1992 to begin commercial banking, and since then to date, a lot of people have been impacted by the operations of this bank. Of course, beginning with one branch, growing to a couple of them, up to today when we have 80 branches and still growing. It has been quite a dramatic journey. At that time, of course, all operations were manual, serving customers behind the ramshackle desks, to a time now when we have one of the biggest computer systems that any commercial bank can ever use in the world. Quite a lot has been invested in technology to date. As I said, coming from where we were at that time. As I said, the DNA of the bank, the vision, the mission was to serve those ordinary Ugandans, to an extent that at some stage, people used to refer to the bank as a bank ayabalimi. Our people, customers from the rural areas would always come probably right from their shambas to come and do banking. And they're always feeling very welcome because that was the purpose of the bank. Banking on a couple of values, which probably, people now come to think of banks as being there to exploit or make money, just without minding about what the customers get out of the services that the banks give, which for us at Centenary Bank is not the case. It has always been a client-focused, centered operation, looking at the impact that the services that the bank offers makes to those people. Social performance of our customers, very critical in our operations. Focusing on the real economy, if so to speak, the economy where things happen, where the growth activities of the economy do take place. And that's why you will find us in almost all areas of the country, in all corners, all the way from Koboko to Kitigum, to Ajumani, to Kisoro, Isinjiro, all across the country. Of course, recently we evolved into a group, but maybe I'll come to that a little later. But as I said, it's a client-centered operation that we've led over time. It is an operation that has focused on being transparent, and that's why a customer, when he or she comes to us, we'll lay out all the terms in broad daylight so that there's no surprise at the end of the day. So transparency is very central as one of the building blocks of the operations of the bank. Focusing on the triple bottom line, meaning that on top of making money, profits as the bottom line, but we also care about the people, meaning the customers, the staff, everybody out there, in order to create very good impact as far as social development, economic development, and things of that nature are concerned. talking about again about triple bottom line, we have talked about the profits, the people, and the planet, the environment. We care about the environment, and all those things wrapped together, we believe, are the ones that determine sustainability of enterprises. And when we talk about sustainability, I think this bank, one of the key, again, pillars that have been focused on, or as a value, is financial resilience. If you look at the numbers, you can see what it means to be financially resilient. And of course, that resilience was greatly tested during COVID, when some institutions had to close, others had to lay off people. But this is an institution that continued to operate, to serve customers, despite all the challenges that were obtaining at that time. So financial resilience is very critical, and that's why now this is the second biggest bank as we speak now, as far as the total balance sheet size is concerned, with the total assets of over 6 trillion Uganda shillings, having mobilized deposits currently at about 4.1 trillion Uganda shillings outstanding, second biggest again in the country, having given out loans to about 270,000 enterprises, people that get loans from us, which are currently at 3.1 trillion Uganda shillings. So all that goes to show, the resilience that as a pillar that underpins the operations of the bank. And once you have all that, then we get back to what do our people get out of our services? What is the impact, out there? Talking about the many things that the bank has been doing in the economy. It is one of the biggest taxpayers. We do engage in various community activities, which may not be necessarily providing financial services, but activities, especially those which affect the welfare of our customers in the places where they operate. When you talk about, you can't talk about cancer initiatives, for example, without mentioning Centenary Bank, with the various partners that we've been journeying together. For example, Rotary, where we've been for the last over 1 decade, been involved in activities, initiatives that are aimed at, first of all, educating people about the scourge of cancer, testing, and also to give, to make people appreciate the need to do early testing, and even those who have been found to be, having the various cancers, to go for treatment. And that's why, again, as you know, we've been involved in putting up a cancer ward at Nsambya Hospital. Our vision is to ensure that various parts of the country have such facilities. So as, again, because as you know, we deal with creating wealth, but if somebody is not healthy, then the wealth that he may be having will be meaningless. And that's why we have to combine those two. And those are the various efforts in which we've been involved. Well, if you talk about the number of people that have gotten jobs from the bank, both directly and indirectly, it's quite phenomenal. We currently have about 3,300 staff, working with us in our various operations. But on top of that internal or direct provision of jobs, we have one of the biggest banking agent network in this country, close to 8,000 agents as we speak. All of these provide jobs on top of providing services closer to our people, our customers, but they also provide jobs and many other, related operations. So we are proud, we are happy that we are creating this kind of impact, because basically that's why we were founded, that's why we are there as a bank, and we want to continue doing that over and over again, especially now that we are 40 years old. We look forward to another 40 years when we will be doing even much, much more than what we've done for the last 40 years, while transforming lives of the various people that have been, using our services and continue to use our services. We are very grateful to our customers, through these many things that we've been doing over time. I think they've come to trust us, and it is because of this trust that this bank continues to grow by leaps and bounds. So we want to thank them, or always we pledge to them that we will continue to give them the services that are appropriate to their needs. Innovation is one of our key values. We innovate as much as possible with a view to coming up with the services and products that meet the ever-changing needs and aspirations of our customers. And we pledge we'll continue to do that, because we've invested quite a lot, first of all, in our people, the staff that serve them. There's quite a lot that has been invested in them by way of capacity building, by way of exposure, and many other things. We've invested in technology, big time, and we continue to invest in it because we want to be a smart bank by the year 2026. Smart in the sense that we want to be serving our customers seamlessly, conveniently, using technology in whatever they will be doing, or every time they come to be served by us. And we continue to invest in it, and we hope and we believe that we should be giving much better services going forward. Of course, there's been quite a lot of investment in governance, which is very key for the sustainability of businesses, and more so banking institutions. If you look at the governance structures that the bank has in place, the board of directors, the various systems that are used to govern operations, we believe they are top-notch. They are world-class systems. We should be able to help the institution to continue growing at the scale at which it is growing, and also offering the services that we expect to offer, those which we've offered and those we expect to offer going forward. Sustainability is very key, as I mentioned earlier on, and that's why we focus on those three things: the governance, the environmental protection, and the social impact of our customers. As a bank, you could see us making money. The bottom line profits have been growing over time, but for us, it's not an end in itself. It is a means to try to serve and be impactful to our customers, and that's why we continue to do that. As I said, it has been many thanks to our customers, to our partners, various partners, the regulators, the government, and the overall community, wider community, for the kind of support and collaboration we've had over time for the last 40 years, and which we hope we will continue to take advantage of in order to be even much more impactful to our customers and to everybody that is served by this bank. Well, I guess in a nutshell, at this time when we're celebrating 40 years, it is time to look back on the 40 years that we've been serving. We need to reflect on what we've done well. We need to reflect on what we need to improve upon, so that we get ourselves ready for the next step, next journey of 40 years and beyond. So we are happy to be celebrating, and celebrations are not a bad thing, because they help, and they will help us to strengthen ourselves even more, to be able to do more going forward. And also to thank and recognize, those people that have been journeying with us, those partners, and also to show them that, we have a resolve to continue moving together and doing more for our customers. Well, various factors have come into play as we grow for the last 40 years. But major key among them is I would say, the investment that has been put in our staff, in our people. People are key for the development, for the growth of any enterprise. And there has been quite a lot of focus on investing in the people, in the staff that are there to interface with our customers. Second thing has been the investment in governance. I talked about governance being very central to a sustainability and growth. Governance being the systems with which operations are managed, all the way, from the board to the last person, at the gate in one of the branches. All that structure put together, that forms the governance structures, and there's been quite a lot invested in it. As we've been moving ahead with the proper governance, we know our customers need the same, because it is not only us to be sustainable, but our customers also, their businesses have to be sustainable. Because if they are not sustainable, then we are there for nothing. We need to ensure, and we've been working with them, train them, financial literacy things that have been going on and so on. All those are activities that have been meant to ensure that we have enterprises that are sustainable, so that at the end of the day, the entire ecosystem is sustainable, because we are all in a family of the staff, governors, the managers, the customers, the partners. All that ecosystem has to move together, and for it to move together, governance is very critical. So that is number 2. Number 3, the technology I talked about. I think there's quite a lot that has been invested in technology, and in the process it has helped this institution to grow to the level where it is currently, and that's why we want to continue emphasizing use of technology. We know technology comes with challenges, and it is our duty to ensure that as we develop the technology, we have in place mechanisms of managing whatever risks are going to come along with technology. Issues of education of our customers, issues of putting controls in both in systems and in the people and in the processes. All those are our responsibilities, and we take them very, very seriously as we develop technology. Of course, the other thing that has helped us, of course, is the church structure as our shareholders. They give us the strength. They give us the values on which we bank, the values on which we've been standing over time as a church, and it has been very helpful, giving us the strength and process deriving the trust that our customers need. As a bank, the only thing we have to offer is trust, nothing else. If people lose trust in us, there's nothing, for us to do. So it is important that we continue to uphold that trust that the customers have bestowed on us. And of course, church has been one of the key pillars that makes us, be the trusted institution that everybody would want to deal with. And of course, in the process, as we've done all those things, our customers have been a very big strength for us, because if we bank, we would open doors to the banking halls. If there are no people coming to take services from us, then wouldn't be there for any value, would be useless. So we thank our customers. They've been a pillar, and we believe they will continue to be a pillar in our growth going forward after these 40 years of operation. No, thank you very much. The most important thing first and foremost, because we are there for our customers, we need to first understand our customers. And I can tell you, for us, we know our customers. We try to know their needs. Of course, as I said, their needs keep changing, they evolve. So it is incumbent upon us to ensure that we pick all these changes. We have the feelers to be able to pick these needs, so that we are able to design products that are tailored to meeting their needs. Once we do that well, we believe we should be able to, move and prosper amidst the competition that is there and that is coming. The fintechs, the telecos, mobile money operations and all that. All those are competing financial services. But as I said, we try as much as possible to understand the needs of our customers, and therefore being able to always be closer to them and designing products that meet their needs. Of course, I mentioned the kind of model of operation by the bank, which is to do with dealing with the many old people, doing mass operation. And of course, at the very start, it was manual. And doing all these many things, low value, high volume transactions manually, was always going to be very challenging. And that's why we embarked on a digitization campaign. We embarked on quite aggressive investment in technology to be able to automate some of these things. And as this far, I think we've automated quite a bit. Right now, we have our customers that can operate on a phone using our Centenary mobile platform, whereby they can transact from the convenience of wherever and whenever they may be at whatever time, as long as they have their phone that is operating. So Centenary Mobile, currently we have about 1.2 million of our customers that are connected to that platform. We have the agent banking network out there again by way of trying to automate as many things as possible. And this has helped. Currently about 45% of our transactions go through that channel. Previously, of course, we had the issues of people would come and complain, there are queues very long in the banking halls and so on. But with the introduction of this technology, the mobile banking platform that I mentioned, the introduction of agent banking network that we've invested in quite heavily, the 7,000 plus agents that we have out there, the introduction of internet banking has helped to alleviate that challenge that we had faced over time. It wasn't a bad challenge, a good challenge. First of all, we knew people would trust us and they would come. But of course, we didn't have to take them for granted. And that's why we had to get out of our way to invest in other channels, in other systems that could, enable delivery of services without necessarily people coming to our banking halls. So that has been a challenge. Of course, in some areas it continues to be, especially at a peak period if it is salary time and so on, but we try to manage it as much as possible. The other challenge that we face, again, I talked about the cyber security issues, cyber frauds. As we go into technology, we are seeing quite a number of frauds coming through technology. And of course, as I said, we endeavor and we strive to ensure that we put in place mechanisms that aim at minimizing or mitigating those frauds. We've invested quite a lot in security systems for IT. We've invested quite a lot in training our staff and also educating our customers, because, for example, somebody may not know that by keeping your PIN safely to yourself, you are avoiding quite a lot of frauds. Some people just leave it there. But it is incumbent upon us to tell them, please safeguard your personal identification number. Don't share it with anybody, so that when you come to use technology, either using the cards, because we have various cards now, Visa cards, MasterCards. If you come to use your telephone through our mobile banking platform, you will need a PIN, personal identification number, but it should only be you who knows it. So all that kind of education are things that we take seriously, and we want to continue doing them, because at the end of the day, as I said, we can't run away from technology. We know where we're coming from. We can't continue many things manually. We have to use technology. But as we use technology, we need to use it safely. And that usage of that technology has to be facilitated by adequate knowledge, by education, by controls, and processes that avoid frauds. Of course, we are challenged by loan flow frauds, credit. We experience quite a bit there. But as I said again, through the systems, staff, operation, supervision, we minimize those frauds. But again, they continue, they are one of the challenges, and it is our duty to continue, managing them. I think those are the major, of course, costs of operations. Costs of operation. We have one of the biggest branch networks of banks in this country, and operating a branch is very expensive. And in the process, when you put all those costs together, then they bring us to a level where we may not be, we are not in a position to reduce our interest rates the way we would have wanted. That's why we strive to, as much as possible, minimize and manage costs, because we know at the end of the day, if we manage those costs very well, then we should be having the interest rates that we charge our customers to go down as much as possible. And we want that to happen, very soon. I think it is very critical, and we take partnerships very, very importantly. That's why we are not saying we are walking alone. We are not journeying alone. We are journeying with many, many partners. I talked about, for example, Rotary, the kind of things that we've been doing in trying to alleviate issues to do with cancer in this country. There are so many other partners we've moved with. We have partners like ABI trust institutions that are helping us to de-risk the loans when we are giving them out, especially given the fact that most of these small loans, the microfinance loans, are loans we give to vulnerable groups of people who may not be having security that is required for them to access those loans. It is through such partnerships that we are able to de-risk and reduce and manage risks that are associated with the lending to such vulnerable groups. If you look at institutions like European Investment Bank, they are our partners, giving us credit for us to own land. East African Development Bank, Africa Development Bank, partnerships with our regulators, partnerships with a number of people, so many. So partnerships are very important, and we take them very, very seriously, and they become very central to our strategies moving ahead. As I mentioned, the people are one of the key pillars for our growth over the last 40 years. And therefore, things like capacity building for those staff, very critical. In Uganda, for example, we are probably the best agro-lending institution. About 18% of our portfolio goes to agriculture. Basically, maybe because, again, we work quite a lot in the rural areas. And for us to be able to do that, we have tailor-made courses to train our staff in agro-lending. And that's why we understand our farmers. If you ask us, farmers in Kapchorwa, when does their maize grow? We know when it will grow. We know when we will begin lending to them. We know and we appreciate when they will begin to sell the maize and be able to pay back. So these are some of the things, we try to target and tailor-make to ensure that our staff are properly trained and their capacity is to the level where we can ably serve and satisfactorily serve our customers. Of course, as I said, we also educate our customers. They are usually free financial literacy courses as part of our corporate social responsibility that we administer to various groups of our customers, wherever they may be. And we continue to do this year in, year out. We usually dedicate 2% of our profits to initiatives of that nature. Every year, all our profits that we make, 2% go to that initiative of financial literacy, things of looking after the welfare of the communities where we live, the health issues that I talked about, and so on. Of course, we are lucky now because after 40 years, the bank has evolved into a group. We have a center group, and that group has birthed a foundation. We have a center foundation, and that foundation is meant to supplement the efforts of the bank to ensure that on top of the 2% of the profits that we give out, they are able to mobilize more resources and be able to do more beyond what we've been doing. So those are all been very good developments, and of course we thank our founders, we thank the group and everybody for all those initiatives which will make us become even more impactful than we've been for the last 40 years. So we are still living true to our mission and vision of ensuring that the ordinary Ugandan, omuntu owa wansi owa bulijjo, is the one we continue to deal with. That's why we are the biggest microfinance bank in this country, microfinance commercial bank in this country. We continue to deliver all these mission critical portfolios, the microfinance, the SME loans, the agri loans. Those three portfolios form the center of our mission, and we continue to do it. Currently, over 60% of our portfolio loans that we give are in that area, meaning that we are still living true to our vision, to our mission of being a bank for the ordinary Ugandan. Now, of course, we've grown. We are able now to deliver quite a number of services which we probably never were not delivering before. We are able to do now trade finance for those customers of ours that are interested in things like letters of credit, in things like guarantees for their businesses, or if they are going for bids and things of that nature. We are able to avail to them, processes or services that can help them to switch transactions, to switch payments through such international switches like Visa, MasterCard, which were not there before. So we are seeing the ordinary Ugandan also evolving. Not only being able to get a microfinance loan, but he needs a Visa card. He wants to use his phone to operate. If we travel to China for trading, they should be able to go and, without carrying money, but rather a card, a Visa card or a MasterCard. They should be able to do all sorts of things that their other elites used to do. So we've become an equalizer. And ordinary Uganda now can access all services that any other person in the world could access from any other commercial bank. Well, there are many stories. There are many things that are out there, signifying the kind of impact we've created as a bank to the community. One which probably quickly comes to mind is, the day when I traveled to Kitgum. When I had just joined this bank in 2010, I had to go around in all the branches. I had to drive from Gulu, and that road at that time was Maram. Now it is tarmac, all the way to Kitgum. And at that time there were, some insecurities and so on. But to reach there, and there were only 2 banks in that place serving people of Kitgum. Amidst all the insecurity, amidst the uncertainties, I thought we were making an impact, and I was there for 2 days. You could see people coming, lining up in the banking halls, getting services, others going to the ATM and withdrawing money, running back to wherever, they would run to be secure. But the bank was open, serving customers. For me, that was a big thing, indicating that we would be serving our customers amidst all conditions, and we've continued to do so. Currently, we've now gone to Kotido, Moroto, Ajumani, Koboko, all those places, and people are there, happy, trusting us, coming to partake in our services. It is such a great joy to be seeing them coming. Sometimes, as I said, seeing so many crammed in a banking hall, and you feel like, what can we do to really, make these people comfortable? And they keep coming. And as I said, we don't want to take them for granted. We need to always be thinking of how best can we serve them so that, they are comfortable as they come to partake in our services. The other thing that comes to mind is when we started serving refugees. We had quite a number of them in around Isinjiro, and some in the north, Koboko, those ends. And we partnered with one of our partners to be able to deliver services to these refugees. When you're a refugee, you are helpless, you are hopeless, but you need somebody to give you hope, where you can get some money for effecting payments or purchases. And here we were, as Centenary Bank, being able to do that. So I thought it was also a good thing, and something that brings joy to whoever, is serving in this institution, and also showing that we are there for a purpose. We've found our purpose to be able to support the common person in their common problems. And that's why, the bank was there. And I'm sure the founders, those who were long gone, would be proud of what this institution has done, even when they no longer live. Well, GABV, or Global Alliance for Banking on Values, is a global organization, as you put it, which has certain values that banks are expected to bank on, so that banks are not looked at as being exploitative. Banks are not looked at as being there for profits alone. So that's why they focus on the triple bottom line. The planet, the people, the profits. That's why they focus on customers as one of the values. Being client-centered is one of the values of the Global Alliance for Banking on Values. Financial resilience is one of the values of GABV, Global Alliance for Banking on Values. Transparency is one of the values of that organization. And when you look at them and compare them with the purpose of Centenary Bank, we quickly realize that we are doing the same thing. We have the same DNA, and therefore, we haven't struggled to be able to inculcate, to be able to fuse those values into ours, because they are very close. They gel. They are more or less the same, and that's why it was imperative that we become part and parcel and a member of this global organization. We are the very first one in Uganda to become a member of this organization. We are seeing a few others also joining this organization. We have, various engagements, interactions, where we get an opportunity to learn even more how to cement these values that as a bank we are expected to use as we serve our customers. So we want to thank the leaders who formed that organization, and we look forward to continuing, benefiting from being part of that organization. And very soon we are going to have the Africa chapter meetings in Uganda, hosted by Centenary Bank, and then we shall be having the global meetings in 2025, which will be hosted here again in Uganda, which will be a sign of recognition of the bank for being part of the organization, but also a sign that we want to have many more other banks in Africa, in Uganda, come and be part of this global organization, so that we make banking a very enjoyable, service and useful to everybody and very impactful. We are very excited about the future after 40 years of, transforming the lives that we've transformed as a bank. We look forward to doing quite a lot. First of all, consolidating what we've done to date, because it is not mean, it is not small. We want to consolidate them as we build on them to do even more. We want to be serving more Ugandans. Currently, we have close to 3 million accounts. We want to do even more going forward. We want to continue to be the biggest, bank for the ordinary person in this country. We want to continue to be more impactful as far as community development is concerned, paying more taxes to government so that can have more development. We want to spearhead the creation of jobs, for people in this country, so that we have more development, we have more young people get employed and so on. We want to continue focusing on the youth, the women as some of the vulnerable groups which probably had been left out of this banking space. We want to ensure that they are all included in this banking space. Financial inclusion is very key. It has always been our mantra, and we want to continue, driving it, having as many people. You've heard us talk about how we bank the refugees, how we bank people, whether they are in a war or not. All that will continue to be part of us. So that at the end of the day, we want to see a world that is having justice. We want to see the GDP of this country continuing to grow. Of course, as you heard, we evolved into a group. So we expect further extension of our operations, our footprint to get out of this country. Already we've gone to Malawi. There is Malawi, Centenary Bank, Malawi, and we expect more of those moves, of those developments to come along as we continue to grow, so that at the end of the day, we have a wider base of people that we support, that we impact, and that's when we shall be contented that we've realized our purpose as a bank. Thank you very much. We are 40 years, and we are celebrating 40 years of service to our customers. We want to most sincerely congratulate everybody that has been part of this journey. Our customers, very critical. Our staff, who have made things possible, who are every day waking up, whether it is raining or not, to come and ensure that our customers are served. Thank you very much. To our board of directors, both past and present, thank you for the good work you've done to ensure that governance of this institution has been top-notch and as one of the key tools of growth of this institution. We want to thank our regulators, the Bank of Uganda, the NSSF, and everybody, who has been there to ensure that we move and we operate within the laws that govern our operations. We want to thank all the other partners. We've partnered with so many people. We've partnered with the financiers. We've partnered with the institutions that have helped us to de-risk the operations that we've been delivering over time. We've partnered with so many, Rotary has been one of our partners in the deliverance of, the services that we have always been delivering. And we thank you so much. We want to thank the wider community in which we operate, the Ugandans and everybody who have given us, the goodwill, the support, and the trust to ensure that this is a brand that continues to serve everybody in this country. We thank you very much, and we congratulate you. We want to call upon you to continue journeying with us, because this bank is there for life, is there to continue transforming lives of Ugandans and everybody who's doing business with us. And now that we've been with you, we don't want to let you go. So come along, let's continue for the next 40 years to do what we've been doing and doing it even much better. Mukaseera kano nga tujaguza okuweza emyaka 4 nga tuweereza bannayuganda, njagala okwebaza okuviira ddala ku ntobo y'omutima gwaffe wano mu Centenary Bank, okwebaza bakastomers baffe abatubeereddewo, abatufudde gye tuli, abatutaddemu obwesige ne bajja okubeera nti tubaweereza. Njagala okwebaza basitaafu bannaffe bonna abaaliwo n'abaliwo olw'emirimu gye mukola obutaweera okulaba nti bakastomers baffe baweerezebwa nga bwe basuubira. Njagala okwebaza abakulembeze baffe, Board of Governors, era abaaliwo n'abaliwo olw'enfuga ennungi n'okulaba nti tugoberera ebyo bye tulina okugoberera ate ne tukola ebyo ebyatondesaawo banka eno. Twagala okwebaza abavujjirizi bonna n'abatubeereddewo, ba partners oba ab'emikago be tutambudde nabo bangi okuviira ddala mu myaka 4 bwe tubadde bangi tubadde tutambula nabo, abantu ng'aba ABI Trust, NSSF, East African Development Bank n'abalala bangi tubeebaza. Twagala era okwebaza regulators oba abatuteeka mu nkola ey'amateeka nga Bank of Uganda, Uganda Revenue Authority, ababeerawo okulaba nti tukola ekyo kye tulina okukola nga abatuuze ab'obuvunaanyizibwa mu ggwanga lino n'abalala bonna. Era twagala okubasaba okwongera okutambula naffe, twongere okukola ebyo bye tubadde tukola ate tubikolere ddala bulungi mu myaka gino emirala egiddiridde 4. Tweyanziza.